Got a Dodge that just got towed in here today. I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, just to like to go through a complete diagnosis and potentially repair. I don't even know what this is, like the year. I think he said it was like a 03 Durango or something. No Dodge guy. Let this computer get locked in here, but what's going on? He said there was misfires. It doesn't want to run properly and it stalls. Now when I pulled in the garage, it was definitely hesitating and misfiring. I mean, it sounds horrible. Now we're gonna hear that in a little bit. I just want to get everything loaded up first, and hopefully, depending on what we find, you know, probably go through a repair. But I'm thinking I did some old videos before with a Dodge like this, and it wound up having a shorted coil. That was an old video I did, and pretty much the signal, I don't even know, I think it's up to 03. Hold on one second. It's up to 03. Please, I don't have that. It's in the house, but it works with the OBD2, so I'm not gonna say I don't have it, because all it'll do is give you a lot of additions to your DLC. I don't know. Let's go to engine control module. So we want to see if what codes are coming up, and see if the codes are correlated with what we got going on. Particularly, I'm looking for misfires. So if there's a misfire, I can isolate the cylinder, and we'll go from there. Throttle position sensor. Could it be a throttle position sensor? Now I've had a Dodge I had worked on, and throttle position sensor had failed, and it was somebody put a motor in there and damaged the connector, and it was misfiring, but it was in limp home mode. This truck actually revs up. Map sensor high, air intake temperature sensor high. I wonder what the correlation is with those. So we do have ignition coil 7 circuit and 1 circuit. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of these, and we're gonna explore our options. I don't think I need to look at any type of freeze frame because it has a hard miss, but I'm gonna keep those there so I can erase the code safely. I know we have a screenshot. Let's go and see if we have any, I don't know, misfire graph. Let me just explore my options. Let's see if it's in here. Purge valve test, injector kill. I can probably use injector kill test. I'm gonna go back if I need to. Let's go to active test. Let's see if there's any misfire data. Like if I have any means of shutting down. Now it has a 2-pin, so I don't think, no, yeah, these are 2-pin. These are 2-pin injectors. I said injectors. These are 2-pin coils, so I shouldn't have any means of deactivation. But I wonder if I have it with the injectors. Worst case scenario, man, I can just simply pull the connector off. So we know 1 and 7 is failing. The computer's not satisfied with those. And what I'll do, these pretty much work off of a constant 12 volt if I recall, and the ground is what activate and deactivate the injector. So it gets a ground signal to charge the coil, pull that down and send the fire. Let's see here. I could look at long-term fuel trim and see if it's potentially rich. If it's rich, then it could lead towards a ignition coil. Could be an injector, but the vehicle is stating that there's some coil issues. So if we have coil problems, 2 things: we could have feedback issues, which we have like it'll take that 12 volts, it'll go through the coil windings, and it'll send the voltage value back, and that's how it uses a reference point. Or there could be a failed circuit inside the module here. But I think last time I wound up having codes related to the module being defective. So what I think we should do, really quick, go with the coil 1 and 7. Since I think 1 is going to be, 1 should be here on this bank. This is the closest one. We're going to go to this one. We're going to check for, we're going to do a simple test. See if it has a ground signal, if it's activating. and go from there. If we got like some type of switching, swap the coils and see if it continues. Could be just defective coils. I don't know. But let's get it started. Let's see what's going on. Let's hear it, and let's pull that coil and see if it changes idle. Let's go through some basic tests first. Vibrating too much. Pull this one. It changed, if you notice. This one doesn't change. If you notice, lights here. So if you notice, this one didn't change, but this one in the back changed. So we're going to address this one, and probably if we figure out what the hell is wrong with this one, we probably got the same problem with the other one too. My biggest thing is the PCM has that failed, and this is a big problem with these Dodges with this around this year model. So I think I need to figure out if this hot went on. I think I can do it with key on, engine off, and look for my 12 volt, and then we can use that test light to look for a switching ground. Let's do that. So really quick, I'm going to take like a resistance value test. That's the first thing I could think of. I do have the key on, engine off, so I know this one works. Let me zoom out. I know this one works here, so this will be our confirmation circuit here. So I could do. I got the key on, engine off. Let me just do a voltage value test first. Just put on volts. If I go into these two, see what value I get. If I get anything, do I have it? Got it set on direct voltage. Make sure my test light works, test meter. Okay. So I didn't get any value on that one. So this probably got like an ASD relay, like a auto shutdown or something like that, or like it has to be running before it start working. I think that's the relay that controls that. Unless my piercing probes aren't getting far enough in there. So there's no value. Let me check this one. There's no value. I don't think my piercing, I think I'm getting far enough down in there. Alright, let me put the threshold here. It should be far enough in there now. I was somewhere. Check this one again, just to be on the safe side. No, alright. I'm gonna take, I'm gonna look for a 12 volt source now. So I'm gonna take my ground here, just put it somewhere. This alternator is grounded. And I'm gonna see if one of these wires are 12 volts. And I do believe this thing has to be running for that though. I got the key on, engine off. That was like a 0.6 volt. So no value. All right, let's see if we can look for a ground. I'm gonna go to 12 volts. So I don't have a. So we have a ground here. Let's see if this other one acts as a ground. Nope. So the red and green can act like a ground. Red and green. Red and green is gonna be on this side too. We have on the other side of that 0.8 volts. Oh gosh, this thing ain't holding. 0.8. So we got similar voltage. Let me make sure I'm actually on the ground. Take my test light here, put it on 12 volts. Check my light comes on. So I wonder if this is this is an actual ground here. It's actual ground there. All right, so it lightly sends 12 volts then to the red and pink looking wire. So we got a constant ground. I'm gonna shut the vehicle off and see if it stays. I'm just kind of curious. So when you shut the key off, the ground goes away. I'm gonna make certain though. I didn't read any diagrams or anything, but this is just a 2-pin circuit. So I'm like, how complicated can it be? We do have the same. Let me do one more thing. Let me check. So we have both green and red or pink looking wire. This one here on the left. This one is acting as a ground. Same as our functioning coil here. We had like 0.9 volts on the red and pink looking wire, same as the other one. I'm gonna cut the car down. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have any. I wonder if I can check. I don't know if the computer's sending a ground or if there's a relay sending a ground to it. I don't know, but we do have the same values, so we have a decent circuit, it seems like. So it's looking like the coil's defective. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hook these up, and I'm gonna look for a strobe. I'm gonna take my test light here and look for this to flash on and off, and this is going to be my indicator that there's signal switching on and off the coil here. And if we have matching signals on both the bad one and the suspected bad one and the good one, then we're just going to swap the coils and see if anything changed. We probably could do a resistance value test. I'm not a big fan of those because they generally don't work. So let's start up. It's going to be vibrating a little bit. So just to let you know. So the light's pulsating. I'm just going to check the other side. Let's go on the other one here. Look how strong that flash is. Look how dim that one is. That's a weak flash in comparison to that other one. That one looked real strong. All right. So the red and green wire is a ground with key on engine off, and then it converts it to a 12-volt source when the vehicle's running. So the light stayed illuminated when I had my alligator clamp on ground while it was running. So again, this is me not looking at any wiring diagrams. Sometimes I'll do that, and this video might be a little lengthy as a result of it. But we do have a weak signal here in comparison to the other one. Now I could hook up the oscilloscope and then we can look at the values and see which one is stronger, because if this is weak, then it's going to be a computer problem. And the computer needs to be replaced. Now, should I think of anything else before I do this? Because just looking at the test light, it was kind of faint on this side and it was stronger on the coil that worked properly. My thing was I couldn't get a resistance value. Let me try the resistance value test one more time and we can get an idea. Maybe I didn't do something right. Let me put it on ground, see what happens. Because I tried to check both of them, but I didn't. Yeah, it's not going to give me a value. Only if I put it on the this one that likely goes to the computer. And this one does definitely, obviously we get a signal, it's come from the computer. But I might get in the value. It's the same value, but I still open on that side. The switching side is only operates when the vehicle's running. Well, shucks. All right, let me get the oscilloscope and then I'll hook up on these two signal wires on the coil, and then we'll make a determination from there. Before I do, one thing I could do with this test meter is measure the average voltage. That's what I could do. How do I hold? I should just get an average voltage while it's on, and that way. I might not have to pull out the oscilloscope. We're being lazy. Man, I done dropped my stuff. So I did a maximum minimum voltage test, and the maximum isn't as high as the functioning one, so that could be something to be concerned about. One thing I didn't notice here, look at that. We had a throttle position code and the throttle position sensor was replaced. So let's just swap the coil and see if anything changes. And then we can go from there. Alright, so interesting. We have same voltage values. I mean, that spark does sound pretty strong in comparison to that one, but we still don't have any fire on this side. It's not making any changes by swapping the coils out. So only other thing, we're going to inspect the spark plug and see what happens with that. So we tested the voltage value. We have the same value. We got the ground, then it converts to 12 volts. That's strong. We have a pulsing signal from the light. It's not staying solid. So we have a signal. We swapped the coils, didn't change anything. Checked the oscilloscope. And when I looked at the oscilloscope, I mean, we had a secondary waveform. They were similar. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, these are horrible, when they look the same to me. And maybe it's all tell. Maybe it was picking up some other wave event, for all I know. But I gotta trust it. And I looked up the average value even on oscilloscope, and they were matching. So the plugs are, look at that. Oh wow, it is filed. It is filed out. I'm not gonna blame Autolite, the brand. Let me pull out the one that worked. So they already been through replacing everything you probably could replace regarding the misfires. They replaced the throttle body, throttle position sensor, spark plugs. Ain't gonna lie, he had a lot of paperwork back there. Here's the working one. Look how good that looks. Ooh, shit, these are hot. Damn. So there's 1 and 7. Wait, 1 and 7. No, there's not 1 and 7. Does Dodge have, no, this is 1 and 5. 1, I don't know how Dodge runs their numbers. This can't be, shit, I need to figure out, hold on one second. I was on both bad banks, but 7 did make a change when running, and look how clean 7 is. But when you pull the coil, it changes idle. So you pull the coil, it changes idle. 1, it doesn't change. So I need to find another plug, and this was my fault. We're doing this live, people. So, oh gosh, oh man, shikes. Ouch, it's hot. Oh boy. All right, let's pull out one more plug here. And compare to that one, because that one's clean, which indicate like no fuel, blown head gasket. that one's fouled, like it indicates oil fouling. So let's pull. We know number 5 is not uncooperative. So let's pull number 5 out. So here's number 5. Could I swap the coils and see if it changes? I'm gonna put this on the side here. Let me mark it. Right, so the marked one here is like G for good. So I'm gonna leave that one right there. And we're gonna put these over here. Those are just gonna be mixed up. Let's pull that plug out. Oh, my light done died. Okay, look how clean this one is. This is number 5. That looks nice and clean. We didn't have any codes for that. So let's do this. We're gonna swap the plug, and I'm just gonna throw in, well, I know it worked. We're gonna throw the bad plug in there. I'm gonna look for any arcs. No. Plug looks fine, just visually inspecting it. I'm gonna throw this one in number 5. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm gonna throw this one. Is that where it came? It's going back where it came. We're gonna put all these back in here, and then we're gonna retest. I'm gonna put the number 5 coil in number 1 and see if it makes any changes. And if I need to, I'll use oscilloscope, and then we can check the values again for the proper one, because I'd be honest, wasn't thinking straight. Alright, so the good one is going back in 1. Why do we have a failed? Try this again. One, 3, 5, 7. 7 has an influence. So it's like all 3 of these aren't working. So 7's working. Let's spray some, let's look at some pit data right quick. All right, so looking at long term here, it seems like it's taking away 32%. Let me see, because I hear like flacking, like errors in the intake. see something. May have a burnt valve. Map vacuum. Barometric pressure. I could do a vacuum test. I don't know what I need to know the values. Vacuum barometric conversion. Let me take a picture of that. That's 145, 160 millimeters of vacuum. I have a vacuum tester I can hook up to it, but I need to see the conversion. Might be something worth doing. So one thing I will say, when I rev it up, the values change. I'm gonna put my vacuum tester to it shortly. Just bear with me on this one. Look at the short term and long term. But it stays rich though. My thing is, like, if the vacuum's off, the map sensor is going to be off, and this is going to be close to atmospheric pressure when it's not supposed to be. Let me hook my vacuum tester up to it. There's our vacuum. It's not even steady. I think we should do like a leak down test and check for a burnt valve or something. So what if I do a compression test? I still could use my compression test. Well, I still could use the leak down tester, bump the engine over and see if there's an increase in pressure. Because if I give it 100 psi, I should see the other side also close off and provide equalized pressure. So let's do that. I'm gonna pull this one off. This one doesn't make any change, but I highly doubt all three of these have burnt valves though, unless something got in there, it sucked up something and damaged it. I don't know. I do know we're on the right track though. It's nothing electrical. Seems to be mechanical, and we do have that noise on the inside of the vehicle. Well, you can hear it in the intake, like that swishing noise. So there's pressure or compression going back into the intake. I need the fan blades turning. So this one's holding pressure. Go to 100. So this one's fine. We need to find the it's one of these three. This is okay. I happen to get lucky. Let's move on to the next one. Watch it be this one, like under here, when it's not that easy to get to. I just need one to confirm that it's bad. I'm gonna do another rotation. So it's the cylinder 3 here. I'm gonna do the leak down test on this one. So it looked like we got issues with number 5 over there. Something started leaking. I don't know if my O-ring burst or not. Sound like it did. So cylinder 5 over there is the one with the problems. What I could do, well, let me go back. So damn it. Cylinder 5 is our problem. another rotation. Alright, so I got everything back installed except for number 5. I was debating on doing a compression test, but I'm like, what's the point when I know that we likely have some issues with the valves in some fashion. Now, only because that I'm having erratic vacuum and we having some rich running conditions and it's going back into the plenum, so it's got to be related to the intake valve. I can't think of anything outside. I don't know how the exhaust valve would influence the intake side. I don't see how at the moment. I know if it don't relieve itself, then where would the compression go? So if it's sucking in, not going out, then it does. Yeah, obviously don't have any other place but to go back in. So we could have issues with the exhaust valve too. Only thing I can really recommend the customer, because as far as me diagnosing, he got his money worth right now. We narrowed it down. It is definitely valve related. The only thing left is to pull the valve cover off and see what else it could be. Now, after knowing that I have erratic vacuum and I did leak down tests, I'm like, okay, let me look at this engine and identifix and see what my possibilities are. And this does have a carbon buildup issue. I didn't know that. So we could have excessive carbon buildup on valves. Some other technicians had rocker arms fall out, so it could be that. So the only other thing I could do is pull the valve cover to confirm if we need to potentially pull the heads off, or if it's something that's non-invasive and then we can just pull the valves out or replace the valves or whatever. But obviously I need to go a little further and get a better visual of whatever mechanical issue that is going on inside of there. I'm not too knowledgeable with Dodges and what could happen. But even then, if I have these issues with the Honda or Toyota, whatever else, it could be, I still need to go a little further and investigate. Because as far as isolating the problem, we know it's here. We know our bigger issue is on number 5. My concern is, does that one cylinder, because the back-fed pressure inside of the intake, how does it influence those 2 cylinders but not the one in the back there? And that's what I would like that to get answered. So let me call him. What I'm going to do, price a valve cover gasket job, and that'll ensure that I can pull the valve cover off, and then we can go further as far as getting better direction as far as what needs to happen. Because I don't think there's any bent valves or anything. I know one is stuck open. I'm very confident on that. That leak down test was pretty much conclusive. So let me make some phone calls and I'll update. But if I don't, then I'll conclude the video. All right, this is the end of the road for this diagnosis. And the customer declined the repairs, and he didn't want to pay for the additional cost to remove the valve cover. I guess because of the initial cost to diagnose for the hour we're currently in. You know, he didn't want to pay the cost to remove the valve cover. You know, some people just don't understand it. You know, this is not, you don't get paid to do this for free. So I mean, it'd be like that. So I'm not mad at the guy, but I'm gonna write a detailed receipt and everything that I found. Especially being at the vacuum was erratic, the leak down test for the 1, 3, and 5 cylinders, and how it was originally like 30% drop off on number 5, and then it just went like to 70%. So I mean, it could be like just carbon buildup. I don't know, but I wouldn't know anything until that valve cover's pulled off, and then we can inspect the valve train and see what we got to do. I mean, I can't begin to tell you, man. We already saw that was some stuff replaced on here in an effort to fix what he currently got going on, and unfortunately, you know, I understand if they want to explore other alternatives, and other people can provide a little hope in throwing parts on them. And unfortunately, when it don't work, it becomes paradoxical. Yeah, it'd be like that. I mean, I'm kind of like, I mean, when people already went through multiple people, and then they got to pay for somebody else to assess the vehicle, you kind of get the short end of the stick anyway, because it's like, well, I done paid everybody to put stuff on there, and now I got to pay somebody just to look at it. Like, yeah. I mean, I told them I charge by the hour and by the time of the job. So I mean, it'd be like that. But you know, if I hear anything back from them in regards to if you get the issue fixed, I mean, I'll definitely update the description channel. But hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed how the rear system will work, and I'll see you on the next one.